Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center overlooking the Toms River, it's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 7:08, Thursday, May 19, 52 degrees. Get up to 65 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 if you want to join our conversation. And today we are it's our first of what will be many discussions with our new resident financial guru, Sean Monahan. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Jeremy.
And so, Sean, listen, I don't take this lightly because we don't look. I don't like to do reads for commercials for things that I don't believe in.
Okay.
And I wouldn't take on a partner to discuss a particular topic on a recurring basis unless I had belief and unless you weren't doing the right thing. So welcome to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, and I'm excited to pick up some of your vast knowledge for myself for selfish reasons.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you saying that, and I'm looking forward to being here on a regular basis.
Cool. So, Sean, why don't you tell people a little about yourself? First of all, you are with Financial Alternatives. You're a wealth advisor. Why don't you give folks kind of a quick overview of what you do?
Yep, I have a financial planning company. It's a independent. We use a broker dealer called Commonwealth. We're independent. It's a small company. We're located on Indian Hill and Hooper. I have my office up there on the third floor. I work with my younger brother, Scott, and I have an assistant, Carolyn. And we work with folks every day trying to help them figure out, basically, vast majority of it is how to retire and stay retired. And we help with investments. We do insurance and comprehensive financial planning.
Right. That's an interesting way to put it. Stay retired, because I'm thinking, I had this thought in my mind of a baseball player going to steal second base. And they go into their slide and they come up a foot short of the base and get tagged out. That's kind of how I think about retirement. If you think that you have enough money and you're all set to retire, and then all of a sudden you're concerned that you're going to live too long and there's no money left, right? That's not a good look.
Yeah, we try to prepare for three things: one, if you live too long; one, if you die too soon; and one, if something happens along the way.
Right.
So you try to take all three of those into account. I mean, frankly, what's going on now is folks are living a lot longer, and their money does need to last longer than it's ever had to. And there's been a major shift in our economy, people going away from pension plans and going self-funding with 401k plans and other types of plans. So the onus is really on the investor now to try to make their money last for a lot longer. And it's more difficult, and there's more we're living longer,
right?
And long-term care costs are exploding. So there's a lot of challenges that are, frankly, unique to our generation, and it'll be different for our generation down the road.
Right. For our kids after that, right?
That's right.
So when you say, you said twice in your opening that you're independent.
I am.
So
that's
independent. So what is that like? What does that mean for your clients?
Well, it means I don't have an angle. I don't have a proprietary product or anything to sell or influence over another. And that doesn't mean that the wirehouses or other insurance companies don't have sound advice. Right. I just know that our model, I think, gives me an advantage when I work with folks because I'm agnostic. I really do not have a horse in the race. I do not care which product we use as long as it meets the objective of the investor. And that is unique, I think.
Right.
Unfortunately, it should be a no-brainer for our business, but it's not. And
right. So unfortunately, if you're dealing with a particular bank or a particular house or somebody that's associated with a particular product line or a particular group of offerings, you're not necessarily going to get the most objective information because clearly, if I can only sell products A through G, I am certainly not going to talk to you about products H through Z, right? Because I can't sell them to you. So, which doesn't mean so much when you're going to buy a television, right? Because you'll probably get a television either way, right? But it does mean something when you're looking at your retirement and when you're looking at making sure that you have enough to survive at the quality of life that you're looking for,
right? And oftentimes the costs, right? So if the firm is selling a proprietary product, and not proprietary products are bad, but if that firm will make more money by you as an advisor pushing this type of product or this particular product over another. Where I think that as an independent, I can sidestep a lot of that.
Cool. So Sean, I think what we also like about you is that you're a local guy. So are you originally from the area? I
I'm not. I lived in Toms River. It'll be 7 years next month, actually, and I grew up in Bergen County, a town called Wyckoff, and went to college in Ohio. After college, I graduated college in '92. I lived in Chicago for almost 20 years.
Okay.
And I had an opportunity 7 years ago to come back to this part of the state. I was fortunate. I met an advisor who was retiring and lived here. I had 2 young children at the time. I was trying to figure out how to get back to New Jersey. And so my wife and I made a decision to move to Toms River. And to be honest with you, I couldn't have known less about Toms River when I did it. I couldn't have known less about the schools, the area, the neighborhood, anything. And but I feel very lucky. I think we got to.
Well, that's how we like them, by the way. We like them when they don't know what they're getting themselves into, and then next thing you know, they're here and they're like, "Whoa, Toms River! All right then." Well, listen, I think it's an interesting statement in and of itself to say that you quote wanted to get back to New Jersey,
right?
Because that's interesting.
Yeah, well, I had 2 young children. I have 3 children. At the time, I had my daughter was 4, and my son was 2, and we had my wife is from Ohio, and I grew up here. We had no infrastructure. We had no family around us to help. And to be honest with you, what happened one time in Chicago is we got invited to a wedding in Milwaukee, which is like 90 miles away, and we couldn't figure out how to do it. We'd have to either go and come back, pay a sitter for the afternoon, or if we wanted to stay over and have a beverage or 2, we'd have to pay somebody for 24 hours. And so we decided Grandma and Grandpa, they're an hour and a half away, which is different than your setup. But an hour and a half is a nice distance for grandparents. They can get down and back in a day. We can go up there and back in a day. They can stay for a few days. They can come down. Last week they saw the talent show at Hooper and the stuff like that, sports and all that. So.
Well, actually, it's very simple. So I will tell you that my parents are not the babysitting type. Okay. Right? They're like I think that in most families they have this kind of situation. There's one set of grandparents which are a little bit more hands-on and active, and then one set of grandparents that are like they're cool, but they're not the same.
Right. Nice to look at.
Yeah. And so my parents are the if you need some life advice, they're there for that.
Right.
And then my wife's parents are the ones who, and I probably shouldn't even say that. My wife's mother is the one who will, because my father-in-law will say, "Oh no, don't worry about it."
Well, you need a good number 1 and a good number 2. So he's probably a good number 2.
He's a strong number 2, and so they're about an hour away, which is exact. And so just you and me talking, right? Like that's a good distance, right? Like an hour and a half is it? Because
you can see him when you want, but not every time.
You're not getting the drop by.
Yeah, here's some milkers on sale.
Yeah. There's no like drop by, and there's less family drama. But they are available when necessary. We like that. That. Okay. And Sean, I know you also your kids are active locally in sports and in the whole nine, right?
Yeah. That's one of the things I love about being here. I think living in a town like Toms River has got a lot to offer. All these different leagues and sports, but yeah, we've got my daughter's playing soccer. We got field hockey. In the summer, she'll play hoops, or summer she'll play softball, and we got hoops in the winter and. I've had a lot of fun. My wife coaches basketball and softball, and I help out with the soccer team. Lacrosse is a new one for us. We don't really. It's a new venture, but that's a lot of fun. So she's having a good time. She's a 5th grader at Hooper, Gracie, and then I've got a 9-year-old boy, James. He's playing baseball and soccer, and then I got a little 6-year-old who was high. They talked about the full day kindergarten last year, so I had. He was part of that class, whatever it is, 2028 or something.
Nice.
But I've got all 3, one school, for 1 year only.
Ah.
The same bus stop, and
that's good. Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah. Now it's all going to shift, but they're having fun.
Well, when we come back with Sean Monahan, we do want to talk a little bit about some of the events of the last week, particularly in the financial sector, and kind of get his take on what that means to you. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin and Sean Monahan. Be right back after this.
The Sean Hannity Show, this afternoon at 3. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin returns next. News Talk Radio, WOBM, AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We are here with Sean Monahan. He is our Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin financial guru. That's his official title here. We're making up the business cards even as we speak. So Sean, why don't you tell us? We were talking a little bit in the break, and I know that people have a tendency to push the panic button when every time they read a different article. But so yesterday the Federal Reserve minutes indicated that there is a likely June interest rate increase.
Right.
And so you could then go to the Wall Street Journal, go to whatever publication you choose, and read 12 articles that say completely different things about what that means.
Right.
So what does that mean to you?
Well, I think interest rates have been low for a long time, which has been helpful for people buying houses, buying refrigerators, buying cars. It's helped spur the economy. It's been an intentional policy for years to keep the interest rates low, to keep the economy flowing. And for really it's about 2 years now, they've said, hey, we're going to stop quantitative easing. Interest rates, as the economy strengthens and more people are employed, rates are going to increase. That was the plan all along when they implemented some emergency measures. Rates are going up. I don't know whether it's June. I don't know whether it's July. It doesn't really matter. I think that if you look at the big picture, there's not a bond manager or a financial advisor in America that doesn't at some point think that fixed rates or interest rates are going up. Right. What is that? I think what happens, unfortunately, for a lot of people is they focus on that. They read the news. What does it mean? Should I sell my bonds? Are bonds going to get beat up? Or stock? Is this good for stocks? Is it good for the economy? The reality is, first of all, I don't know, and I don't think anybody actually knows what it'll mean for. But they've gone up. They went up over the winter. You guys, everything's fine.
Right.
Qualitative easing that stopped. The sky didn't fall. For most people, they fixate on some of these things. It's news. It's stuff to talk about for the commentators, but it doesn't impact the day-to-day.
Right.
What I spend my time focusing on is talking to people about their objectives and their goals and try to figure out if those have changed, and what the risks are that they face, whether we're in a rising rate environment or a declining rate environment, a bull market, bear market, all sorts of different scenarios.
Right.
So, look, rates are going up. I don't know whether it's June.
Right, and it's also a matter of whether you're taking a short view or a longer view. I mean, if you're a day trader and you buy and sell, you make 67 transactions a day, then the fact that Berkshire Hathaway bought $1 billion worth of Apple stock, that makes a difference.
Right.
But if you're the average person who is buying in a situation where they are setting up for a retirement or they're planning on holding for a while, then the ups and the downs of the market it's just something you're going to have to live with.
Right, and it's part of the environment, right? It's what we know that when we're working with clients. Hey, what I always say is, look, the market's declined by 50% twice in the last 15 years, so that's going to happen again. I expect it. We'll see it. And I don't base my planning on what Warren Buffett's doing, and I don't base it on what the Federal Reserve is doing because I don't control those measures. So when I talk to folks, it's you try to figure out what I do control, how we invest the money, how we allocate the money, what types of insurance are in place, and those sorts of questions, and what they're trying to do, and what is likely to change in their life, whether it's health or where they live. Or, we'll go to Florida, buy a second house, whatever it is.
Right.
Those are the types of questions that we answer. And Kramer and Warren Buffett, they're very interesting.
Right.
but they don't impact exactly what's going on.
Right. Sean Monahan, again, Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin's financial guru, and he will be with us every other week here talking finance. Of course, we'll be taking your phone calls, et cetera, et cetera. Sean, thank you so much for spending some time this morning.
And if anybody has questions, too, they can call my office, 609-693-3800.
Yeah, do you have a website?
finalt.com.
Cool. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin back after this.
The news is next. Live from the WOBM Newsroom, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.